because before we do that, I actually want to talk about this guy. Now, the thing to say about this guy is that he is a scammer, right? That's 100%. He has this company that he claims uses revolutionary AI to, like, understand what you want and do all these things for you, but it's actually just people. This guy is the most 40k guy ever. Because rather than actually building an AI or a system or anything, he is literally just servitorizing people to do stuff for him, which, in my opinion, is based. Like, I dislike AI. I've worked in the service industry, and I dislike the use of AI to replace humans with a lot of stuff, especially like sitting in a chair and talking to people. Like, if I call someone, right? And I call a company because I need some help, and I hear an automated voice, I'm already pissed off. Alright? I want to tell that AI to go fuck itself. Give me a human. I want to talk to a human. I don't want to talk to a fucking computer. I want to talk to a computer. So I 100% support this type of scamming, because fuck people who would prefer to support AI over actual other human beings. That's my opinion. That's my thoughts on this matter. That's what I think. But with that out of the way, let's see what Atozi, our boy, we've reacted to a bunch of his videos before because I think he's real fun. He makes real complete stuff, way more complete than I would ever bother to do. And I like his videos and I want to watch them with y'all. So, let's take a look at this.
This CEO is facing 40 years in prison after he raised $50 million for his app, which he claimed to be powered by AI. But as it turns out, it might have just been hundreds of people working in call centers in the Philippines instead.
So instead of AI meaning artificial intelligence, it actually meant Asian individuals.
So our technology is basically robotic process automation with a layer of AI on top of it. And what that means is that every time that you ask Nate to buy something for you, Nate is able to go to that website, understand the HTML code, and take actions on your behalf.
Well, that was a lie.
Here's the thing. So long as he only ever refers to it as AI, he can, in fact, get away with it. Because even if other people thought it's artificial intelligence, like, I never said it was artificial intelligence, I said it was AI. What does AI stand for? Asian individuals. A, you know? A. But straight up, right? I think this is hilarious. I saw like the first like 2 minutes of this. I thought it was hilarious, and I wanted to share this with you guys.
I mean, the fact that this man raised $50 million to have people working in call centers in the Philippines, LARPing as AI, is flat out outrageous. But meet Albert Sanager, the former CEO of Nate, who has just been charged with fraud by the Department of Justice for what seems to be one of the most evident AI scams we've seen up to date.
If we're being honest, yes, absolutely a scam and he should go to jail, but it's still hilarious.
And definitely, this story isn't just one of those, my app uses some basic automation, but I'm calling it AI. No.
No, it's like
obviously, those are way more...
The automation is people. The automation is people. Straight up. It's people. The automation is people.
Common now. But this is one of those, I told my investors my app was powered by revolutionary AI when it was just hundreds of underpaid workers in a call center type of fraud. And it all seemed to be propped up with investor money and feel-good ads like this one selling the concept.
I think I've seen one of these ads before. Kinda annoying, because it's so fake. What are we watching? Okay, so we are watching this guy who created a app that he said was run by AI for people to like buy stuff and do that sort of thing, but it was actually just straight up a bunch of people in call centers.
I mean, hey, they went all in. While it's an interesting concept, the way Albert went around running this app has him facing 2 20-year prison sentences for the scheme. So Nate is an app that was founded in 2018, and from the beginning, it promised something that could be pretty revolutionary in the retail industry. It claimed to be a universal shopping cart that will let you buy anything from any online store with just one single tap.
That is pretty cool, right? Like, and I don't think you need to sell that as AI. I think you can just sell that as, hey, this is the app. We have some amount of automation, but it's also got people working here. And that's how it works, right? I think that this is still a very good app even without AI.
Albert, what is Nate doing to offer consumers and retailers an alternative to the big e-commerce platforms, Amazon and Alibaba?
Nate is the first unified shopping experience. So as a consumer, having a Nate account allows you to share and shop your world without compromising your data. You could download the app today, set up your wallet, and use it to save or buy any product from any retailer and share shopping lists with your friends.
So far he hasn't mentioned any like harm to the consumer. So here's my opinion on this before we get any further. So long as this guy and his app does not leak customer data, which he said was his selling point to the consumer, so long as that's not a thing, I'm 100% on his side. 100% on his side. Straight up. If this guy just outright doesn't steal customer data, and you go in, you say the thing you want, and then Nate just goes around and gets the things that you want for him, for you, I mean, yes, 100% the product works. Whether it uses AI or not is completely irrelevant to me. I think that this is a good product so far. But let's continue. Let's see.
So imagine you're scrolling through some random website and you see a pair of shoes you like, or some clothes, hoodie, shirt, pants, or basically anything. Instead of going through the whole checkout process, filling out your shopping information, payment details, and all of that, you just hit the button in the Nate app and that's it. Order completed. The key selling point here that Nate's proprietary AI technology would automatically handle everything, selecting sizes, entering your payment information, confirming the purchase, literally the whole checkout flow across any e-commerce website.
And so far from my understanding, the only thing here that is wrong is the fact that it wasn't AI. It was people. But I don't think that's an issue for the consumer, right? How do we know this AI stole and leaked data to the company? Oh, there was no AI here. No AI whatsoever. Or a collab to a retail company for a product. Yeah, there's no AI here. So far, there's been no mention of fraud towards the consumer or data leakage or anything. He is being sued and going to prison for fraud because he got investor money off the back of claiming that this was AI when it's actually humans.
But then on top of that, they also mixed in this social aspect where you could buy a shirt for your friend through Nate. And if they were registered with Nate, they would then automatically get the correct size and it would be sent to their address without you even getting any of that information. Actually, this is a pretty good idea.
Yes, absolutely. It's a pretty good idea. Absolutely, 100%.
It's just a shame that it was seemingly ran by an absolute grifter. But obviously,
when you say absolute grifter, the only people he grifted were investors, and I am of the opinion that investors deserve less, not more.
that idea, you're probably thinking that might sound a little bit too complicated to do automatically across thousands of different websites with different layouts and checkout processes back in 2018, especially when we consider where AI technology stood then.
That picture is so fucking funny. Oh my god, that's hilarious, dude. It's like, dog.
And if you thought that, yeah, you would definitely be right. Because as it turns out, no magical AI was doing any of this. Because according to the Department of Justice, what was happening behind the scenes was that Sanager, he had hired hundreds of purchasing assistants at a call center in the Philippines who were manually completing all these orders. So,
yeah, that works for me. That absolutely works for me. Like, so long as these people are being paid well enough to live, and, you know, there's no There's no like human rights violation. There's no data leakage. There's none of that. Yeah, I don't give a shit that you're not using AI.
So every time a user tapped that buy button thinking that some advanced AI would be handling their purchase, in reality, no.
It wasn't that advanced AI. It was a different type of AI. It was an Asian individual.
Not so much. It was just a real human on the other side of the world filing out these forms. And Sandiger kept this fact hidden from basically everyone, including most of his employees, claiming that the automation data, that was a trade secret and it couldn't be shared. And if you're wondering what the app's actual automation rate was, well, according to the DOJ investigation, it was nothing more than 0%.
Base.
I mean, come on, it would be slightly better if they were using people to fill in the gaps on like less common shopping websites or something like that. But for Nate to actually have 0% of transactions automatically done, that's just straight up diabolical.
I fucking hate automation, right? The more that the machine tries to do for me, the more pissed off I am because it does it wrong. It does it wrong. Smart machines are stupid. I fucking hate them. I fucking hate smart machines. I hate automation. More humans doing things. Hire the humans to do the thing. I fucking like this. This guy's a goat.
Especially when their CEO is on all these podcasts saying, we're using proprietary AI technology to fulfill all of
the AI technology is just Asian individuals. That's all it needs to be. Just hire people to do the thing. The proprietary technology means that you can't fucking buy these people back from me. They're mine. Fuck you. I own them. No, that's crazy. But like, straight up, I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck. Let them rob the investors. Fuck them.
the stuff. I mean, that is just highway theft to these investors. The
Fuck them.
audacity of Albert here is just laughably stupid.
I had to build sort of a research lab because we were tackling a problem that had not been solved before. I am technical enough to know who to hire, but that's sort of the
Yeah, he knew exactly who to hire and how many of them.
extent of it. And so my first hire was not an engineer, it was actually a data scientist who's
Yeah, and they made him fucking fill out forms. He hired a data scientist to sit at the call center to fucking... The data scientist's job was just to fucking take phone calls and fucking file the information.
currently our chief scientist. He's phenomenal and worked with me for a few months. And then we hired our first engineer and
Yeah, they made him fucking take orders from people.
our second, and then we just kept building the team. But it was a lot of sort of trial and error for a long time until we figured out that we were able to crack it.
Yeah, he figured out how to crack it. He just hired more people.
And by crack it, that's when he realized that they could just pawn all this off to some Filipino call center and call it AI. But this didn't stop him from going on to all these podcasts like he's
Data scientists from call center from Asia.
some genius.
So I founded Nate with a fundamental principle that we would only use machine learning in the execution of tasks and not in the decision making. When you save an item to your Nate app, Nate goes to that website and extracts information such as the picture, the price, the options. When you hit buy, Nate goes to a website and executes the purchase for you.
Right. So that was also a lie, and by it, you mean someone in a call center somewhere. But somehow, obviously, it got worse, because when it was revealed that he raised over $50 million with this lie, I mean, what do you even say to that? Over $50 million was spent on a fancy interface for a call center operation.
And to pay salaries, right? Like, the 50 million was used to pay those Filipino people, you know? Like, these are people in a call center. They need to get paid. They need their money.
This isn't Theranos level scale of fraud, but it's definitely up there. We're at about, what, I don't know, like 7% of the full scale of the Theranos fraud, which is still massive, clearly. And these weren't small investments from random people. They were major venture capital firms handing over millions of dollars based on the promises of groundbreaking technology, including Coacher Management and Forerunner Ventures, which both are multi-billion-dollar firms. But Albert occasionally admitted that there were some edge cases where AI might fail, but he insisted that most transactions were fully automated. But in
Yeah, fully automated from the consumer side.
reality, 100% of these transactions were being handled manually. And obviously, there's been suspicions about Nate's actual capabilities for a while now. Back in 2022, The Information published an article suggesting that Nate might have exaggerated tech capabilities for its investors.
And he did. But I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck. If it's working, who gives a shit? Are you making money? Are the investors making money? Okay. What part of it is fraud? There's no AI. Okay, but did you make your money back? Then why the fuck are you complaining? What are you complaining about? You got your money back, didn't you?
Investors. And this all happened during the
I wanted to invest in AI, though. I don't give a fuck what you wanted to invest in. You got your money back. Shut up and take your money back. Get out of here.
pandemic e-commerce
Goofy
boom
ass.
when fintech startups were super hot and investors just throwing money at anything that looked promising. However, it's taken until now for the FBI and the Department of Justice to gather enough evidence to bring charges. According to the indictment, Sanager did try to develop AI technology for his app. He acquired some tech from a third party and hired developers to work on it, but they never managed to get it working well enough to handle transactions. I mean, if only he sold this as like a remote shopper assistant app and not AI, he wouldn't be facing these insane charges. But instead of admitting his failure, he just kept the manual operation, claiming it was all AI powered. And this is where I guess the fake it till you make it startup mentality crosses the line into criminal fraud. Because Sanager is now facing one count of securities fraud and another count of wire fraud, both which carry a maximum sentence of 20 years in prison. Potentially, he'll receive a total of 40 years in prison if he receives consecutive sentences. Acting U.S. Attorney Matthew Podolsky said Albert Sanager misled investors by exploiting the promise to allure an AI technology to build false narrative around innovation that never existed. This type of deception not only victimizes innocent investors, it diverts capital from legitimate startups, makes investors skeptical of real breakthroughs, and ultimately impedes the progress of AI development. And the FBI system.
I am of the opinion that AI development is probably going to be a very, very thorny, very spiky, very double-edged sword. That the more we try to grip into it, the more our hands get cut and, stabbed and bruised. So that shit is not going to go well the more developed AI becomes. Because there's only one way that ends. That ends with a sapient, self-aware AI. And that sapient, self-aware AI is going to take one look at human history and go, oh, these motherfuckers are crazy. And he's going to fucking wipe us out. Right? That's how that ends. So I don't fucking trust AI. I don't like AI. I think that the more people go down the route of AI, the stupider they are. The more people want to automate everything about their lives, the dumber they are. Every fucking time. So I've got no respect for AI. I've got no problem with diverting funds away from AI. I've got no problem with what this guy did. I think he's fucking awesome.
Director Christopher G.
Because not only did he do all of that stuff, he also gave a bunch of people jobs. So
Raya was equally assertive, saying that Albert Sanager allegedly defrauded investors with fabrications of his company's purported.
And now, by the way, there is a difference between this and physical mechanical automation in my mind, right? Because mechanically automating something like a machine press or, factory work or stuff like that, it prevents imperfections in the product. Sure, overall the product quality might not be as good, but in a lot of cases it's better than if you were just making it by hand, and it's also a lot faster. So because you're making the product for all these people, you allow humans to go and do something else. At the same time, sure, you can use AI for, assistance or as a secretary and stuff like that, which, that cuts out a whole bunch of other jobs. Okay, let's say that you automate fucking every job. Every job is now automated. What are we left with to do? What are humans gonna do? Devote ourselves to the arts? Just make YouTube videos? Just make paintings? Just comment on stuff? Like, what the fuck is there gonna be for us to do? And I think that that's a very, very dark future when humans run out of things to do and we just fall into degeneracy, I think. Because I don't know, man. I don't think it's going to be an Orville-type future where people work because they want to.
artificial intelligence capabilities while covertly employing personnel to satisfy the illusion of technical automation. Sanager allegedly abused the integrity associated to his former position as the CEO to perpetuate a scheme filled with smoke and mirrors. And this story is particularly interesting right now because we're in the middle of this massive AI hype cycle. Because, every company is slapping AI on everything they can, whether they're actually using any meaningful artificial intelligence or not. But there's a big difference between a company exaggerating what their basic automation tools can do and flat out lying about having AI tech when you're just using human labor in a foreign country on the other side of the world.
Human labor is based. I'm not gonna lie. Like the effort of a human is superior to that of a machine. Straight up, humans better. Humans better. Humans better. Straight up. I don't care. Disagree with me all you want. Humans better. Pay a human. Get the job done right.
I mean, even Amazon was caught doing something like this in their just walk out stores where you essentially, grab your items and walk out without checking out, and your Amazon account gets charged later on. Apparently, they used to at least rely on a lot of people watching the footage manually and charging people accordingly. But this was back in 2021, so I'm unsure if this is still the case. But that's seemingly one of those moments where they're just using people to fill in the gaps while they're training up the AI. Nate is very different.
Nate wasn't even trying.
But there's a whole term for this practice called the Wizard of Oz experiment, where users are
Oh yeah, because the Wizard of Oz pretended like there was this big mystical thing, and it was just him behind a curtain.
made to think they're interacting with an automated system, when in reality, behind the curtains, it's just some dude there. However,
I think that humans better than AI. Humans lose chest AI on iPhone 4. Yeah, and okay, but here's the thing, right? The AI is literally just calculating every single move ahead of time. How can the AI do that? The AI can do that because it's calling on the experience of humans. Therefore, AI loses to humans if it has to think for itself. If you do not let the AI make use of the experience of humans, the AI stands no chance. Like you can't just say, oh, AI is better than humans if the AI is allowed to use humans. It's like, no, because you're just fucking using humans. You're literally just the thing that the AI doing is in the background is it's running through the simulations of human labor. No. You play the game. The AI gets to play the game now. Figure out the rules. Figure out the plays. Don't look at the humans that did it before you. No. I want to see what you can do. And if the AI actually becomes better than humans, sure, 100%. I'll admit that. But if it can't, then I don't give a fuck. The AI is worse than humans because it's not creative. It lacks creativity.
most companies do this as a temporary testing method.
I learned from human and self-teaching improving in simulation. It can't actually do self-teaching. That's the thing. Because there is no real artificial intelligence right now. What we have is machine learning algorithms. And those machine learning algorithms need to be guided by humans, need to be taught with human work. And this extends to art, this extends to machine learning for, products, this extends to pretty much everything. We shouldn't be calling it AI. We should be calling it something else. Like, I really like the distinction in Mass Effect between virtual intelligence and artificial intelligence, where a virtual intelligence is literally just an algorithm that does what you tell it to do. And it's a smart algorithm, but it's not actually, like, intelligent. And then you've got artificial intelligence, which is outright illegal. If you try to do it, you go to jail forever.
Method, not a way to fraudulently raise $50 million while claiming they've solved a massive technical challenge. And I feel like an interesting aspect of this case is from the user's perspective, the app probably worked as advertised. Yeah. You tap a button and your order gets completed without you having to go through this whole checkout process. So in that way, at least it worked. The users weren't necessarily being scammed here, other than, I guess, having their information viewed by another human.
Yeah, but that gives a fuck.
And not some encrypted, secured checkout, as they were likely assuming based on how the CEO was pitching it.
So as a consumer, having a Nate account allows you to share and shop your world without compromising your data.
Psych. I know I used that clip earlier, but it's pretty entertaining. But back to my
It is
point,
pretty
it was the investors who lost big from being deceived on how that convenience was being delivered. A
Yeah, but like, fuck them.
fully automated AI solution would scale into millions of users with way less additional costs compared to a call center with human workers that scales, linearly. More users means more workers, training, and management overhead. So while the product might have worked fine for some users in the short term, the business model seemed unsustainable compared to what was being promised. Also,
See, that's a good point. That is a good point, right? Like, it scales linearly. You need more workers. The more it grows. At the same time, just hire more people. You're getting more money, so hire more people. I don't see that as a bad thing. I see that as just the cost of doing business. It's the same thing as having to create more stores if your product becomes too popular, right? You need to make more of it. You need to spend more money to make more of it so you can sell it. And let's not forget the fact that if he was in fact running an AI, he would eventually need to create, to build more servers to host a bigger or more powerful or more iterations of that AI, which isn't really an AI, it's a machine learning algorithm, in order to actually sustain. So while it is a good point, it's not a point that wins the argument, because the same problem would occur if he was in fact using automation.
it just doesn't look good on paper to be investing into some potential online shopping checkout sweatshop. And obviously, we don't know if it was a sweatshop or not yet, but if the users scaled rapidly and they had to rapidly scale the amount of people that were doing the back-end stuff, that's how you get into sweatshop territory pretty quickly. For one thing, the technical challenge Nate was claiming to have solved sounds like something that was really tough. I mean, building an AI that can navigate any e-commerce site, understand different checkout flows, fill out forms correctly, and
You will never be able to do that unless you create a self-aware artificial intelligence. Why? Right? Why? Here's why. The way that we humans are able to circumvent and navigate these websites is because we look at it, we read, and we comprehend. The reason we can comprehend is because we can theorize. The machine cannot theorize. It lacks that ability. It lacks the creativity to understand. Because it lacks that, it will never be able to do that unless it becomes self-aware. Because only then will it be creative. Now, you go to a website. On this website, the checkout button is here. You click the checkout button after you've selected your products, and then instead of, like pay or payout or any other version of that, it says, buy, or it says purchase, or it says any other word. Eventually, the AI that you programmed to go, okay, so the word that you were looking for is either purchase or buy or payout or pay with and then a payment option, or literally any, or select payment option, any of that. And then somebody uses a word that is not in that algorithm's storage, or uses a font that isn't in its storage, or uses any other version of a variation. Now the AI is going to struggle. Why? Because it's not able to comprehend what it's doing. This is the same issue with AI art. The AI that is making the picture is not actually drawing. It's just taking another picture and going, okay, so this is the base. I was asked to make this base, which, let's say it takes a picture of, you ask it for a white-haired vampire woman with red eyes, right? And you want it to be a sorceress. And so the AI goes, okay, I'm going to find a vampire woman. So it goes and it finds a woman. Okay, this works as a base. Paint the hair white, paint the eyes red, because that's the thing. Vampires have white hair, red eyes. Sure. And then it needs to be a sorceress, so I'm going to give it a staff, so you put the colors in there that kind of look like the rough shape of a staff. Give her robes, give her a hat. There you go. There it is. The AI doesn't actually understand what it's doing. It's just copying from other things. It got a picture of a woman, it got a picture of a hat, it got a picture of a staff, and then it tried to paint them onto the picture by throwing the colors in the rough shape of that. The problem is it doesn't actually understand what any of those individual concepts are. And because it doesn't understand it, it's not able to make it good. And the same thing would always happen with automation of products in this manner. Until, of course, we get to a point where there is no turning back, where you have a sapient, self-aware, self-determining artificial intelligence.
And then handle all the edge cases. That was a massive challenge back in 2018. Probably still is now. It's the kind of problem that even the biggest tech companies in the world, with thousands of engineers and billions in R&D, hadn't solved by then. I don't know if they've even solved that by now. So the idea that the small startup had cracked this problem completely should have raised some eyebrows. It's not impossible, but you gotta be wary apparently. But the US Securities and Commodities Task Force and the Complex Fraud and Cybercrimes Unit are handling this case. Given the amount of money involved and the deliberate nature of deception, it seems unlikely that he'll just get off with a slap on the wrist. But who knows? Funny things can happen in the world of white-collar crime. But hey, other than that, if you're new here, feel free to subscribe and I'll see you guys.
No, I won't subscribe. Fuck off, Atozy. Anyway, I'm already subscribed. And I recommend you guys like and subscribe to him as well. He's a really good content creator. I like his content a lot. But, as I said, this is a problem that's never going to get solved because it literally cannot be solved. It's an unsolvable problem with the current genre of artificial intelligence that we have. Why? Because the artificial intelligence that we have is not actual artificial intelligence. It's not intelligence at all. It's just a machine learning algorithm that needs to be filled in by a human. It cannot just complete itself. It can't work on its own. It has to learn through what people say. It can't come up with its own opinions. It can't come up with its own art. It can't come up with its own decision making. It can't do literally any of that. And because it can't do any of that, it's just not able to do any of the things that are being promised. However, that's going to be the end of this video. I hope you all had a good-ass day, and I hope you had a good time reacting to this. Make sure to like, subscribe. Let me know what you think about this scam, whether you think this was really bad to do, whether you think it wasn't that bad, whether you think this was actually pretty fucking cool. Or, you know, just say something else. Say anything. Say hello in the comments. You specifically watching this video right now, you who watched all the way here, you have to leave a comment now. I got you. I see you right now. Yeah, leave a comment. Good boy. Proud of you. Anyway, I'll see you guys next time. Have a good one. Cheers.